Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever found yourself staring at two fractions, maybe something like 5/6 and 3/8, and just kind of scratching your head trying to figure out which one's bigger? Yeah, it's a super common trip up. But you know what? In this explainer, we're going to give you all the tools you need to tackle any fraction face-off with total confidence. All right, let's just jump right in with a challenge, shall we? Take a look. 5/6 or 3/8? Which one is bigger? It's not super obvious at a glance, is it? Well, this is exactly the kind of puzzle we're going to crack today. And look, if that seems a little tricky, that's totally okay. Comparing fractions when the bottom numbers are different can be really confusing. But I promise you, by the time we're done here, you'll be able to look at a problem just like this and know exactly what to do. No sweat. So, first things first. We're going to start with the basics to get our feet wet and build up some momentum. Let's talk about the simplest kind of comparison. This is what I like to call your first easy win. Okay, so this is the absolute golden rule, the foundation for everything else. When those bottom numbers, the denominators, are the same, all you have to do is look at the top numbers, the numerators. It is that easy. A bigger numerator means you've got a bigger slice of the pizza. Simple as that. And here's that rule in action. We've got this jumbled up group of eights. Now, since all the denominators are eights, we can pretty much ignore them for a second. The only thing that matters is the top number. So we just order them 1, 3, 5, 7, and boom. Just like that, the fractions are sorted, smallest to largest. Pretty straightforward, right? And what's really cool is that this whole same denominator idea is also the secret to making adding and subtracting fractions a total breeze. Seriously, having that common bottom number is the most important part of the puzzle. The whole process is really simple. You just do the math on the top numbers, and the bottom number just hangs out and stays the same. Super clean, super easy. Okay, now let's get back to our main challenge. All right, warm-up is officially over. Let's get to the main event. How in the world do we compare fractions that have different denominators, like the tricky ones we started with? You see, the real problem here is that these fractions are basically speaking different languages. One is talking in sixths, and the other is talking in eighths. It's like comparing apples and oranges. So to compare them fairly, we need a special pro tool to get them speaking the same language. And that awesome tool is the LCM method. LCM stands for least common multiple. All this means is we find the smallest number that both denominators can multiply into. This lets us rewrite our fractions so they both have the same bottom number. And once they do that, well, we're right back to our easy win from before. Let's walk through an example. Say we want to compare 2/3 and 3/4. First, we find the LCM of 3 and 4, which is 12. Then we convert both fractions into twelfths. And would you look at that? All of a sudden, we're just comparing 8 and 9. Problem solved. 8/12 is obviously smaller than 9/12. Now, the LCM method is awesome. It's a total workhorse, especially when you've got a bunch of fractions to sort. But what if you're only comparing 2? Well, for that, I've got a fantastic little shortcut for you. Seriously, think of this as your secret weapon. So let's set up another face-off to see how this thing works. On the left, we've got 3/8, and on the right, 4/5. Who's gonna win this round? Let's find out with the butterfly method. This is such a cool visual trick to get the answer fast. You just cross-multiply. You go from the top of one to the bottom of the other, creating what looks kind of like butterfly wings. The number you get for each wing tells you which fraction is bigger. And there's the big reveal. On the left side, we get a product of 15. On the right side, we get 32. Since 32 is bigger, we know in a heartbeat that 4/5 is the larger fraction. How fast is that? Okay, so you've learned the basic rule, you've got the Pro Tool LCM method, and you've got that awesome butterfly method shortcut. Now it's time to put all of that knowledge to the test in one final showdown. Here we go, our final challenge. 4 fractions, and they all have different denominators. Now, the butterfly method is great for 2, but when you're trying to order a whole group like this, we need to bring out the big guns, the LCM method. This table right here is where all the magic happens. So, the least common multiple of all our denominators, 6, 8, 5, and 10, is 120. Then we just convert each of our original fractions into its new form, out of 120. I know it looks like a lot of steps, but trust me, it makes the next part incredibly simple. And just like that, we've taken this really complex problem and turned it into something familiar. We are right back in our easy win zone. All we have to do now is look at those new top numbers, 45, 48,
84, and 100 and just put them in order. And there you have it, the final correct order from smallest to largest. By using that powerful LCM method, we were able to confidently sort out that whole messy group of fractions. Fantastic job. Whew, we have covered a ton of ground. So before we wrap up, let's do a quick recap of the essential tools you now have in your fraction toolkit. So just remember these key ideas. If the bottom numbers are the same, it's an easy win. Just look at the top numbers. If they're different, your go-to pro tool is the LCM method. And for that quick head-to-head battle between just two fractions, you've got that secret weapon, the butterfly method. The master key, no matter what, is to get them all speaking the same language first. So now you've got these awesome tools in your back pocket. And I just want to leave you with this final thought. Think about it. The next time you're in the kitchen tweaking a recipe, or you're shopping and trying to figure out if that 25% discount is really better than a 1/3 off deal, or maybe you're even looking at sports stats, you have the skills to figure it all out now. So the real question is, how are you going to use them? Thanks so much for tuning in.